Hello, Miami. This is 305 Sports Now, your home podcast for all things Miami sports related. Let's not forget channel. I am Will, and in misery, there's a little bit of happiness on the side as well as although the Canes did finish with a horrific record and underachieving an underwhelming record of 5-7. Mario Cristobal, you cannot say one thing about Mario Cristobal. You can criticize the offense, you can criticize the defense, you know, play call, whatever the case may be, but the guy's a 100% hell of a recruiter. How in the world do you flip a kid like Collins Acheampong, all right, a 4-star edge rusher out of California from a team that may potentially win the national championship this year, came off a dominating victory, especially running the football against the Ohio State Buckeyes, which many felt could go and win the national championship this year. And you get them to flip and go to a 5-7 team. Mario Cristobal is a relentless recruiter, but I gotta give credit to one of the coaches that rarely gets spoken about, but has a lot to do with the recruiting process, has a lot to do with player acquisition as well and talent acquisition as well, and that is Rod Wright. Rod Wright, the defensive ends coach in particular, was the lead recruiter in for Collins Achampong, and he was able to land him finally as Achampong yesterday decided that he was going to decommit from Michigan and commit to the University of Miami. So pretty much what we're going to talk about is Collins Acheampong, and we're going to also talk about Reuben Bain as well. But let's focus first on Collins, all right? Collins is listed as an athlete as he played both defensive end and tight end over in his school in California, Santa Margarita Catholic School, over in Rancho Santa Margarita, California. Originally, like I said, in Michigan commit, he is listed at 6'7", 250 plus pounds, all right? He is considered the 9th best athlete in the country. So you can use him on offense or you can use him on defense. I'm sure they're going to use him on defense because that length at 6'7" is devastating when it comes to the pass rush as well. I was trying to find some statistics for you guys as far as, his high school career, but unfortunately, Max Preps doesn't always give accurate, at least the accurate daily or at least more current numbers. I don't know why that happens, but it hasn't been the case. But as a freshman, this kid was a flat out standout. He had 51 total tackles as a freshman and had 9 sacks as a freshman, all right, playing varsity over at his school. So this kid is obviously still growing. He's going to fill out more as well. So what a great find and what a great acquisition for Mario Cristobal. Jim Harbaugh must have been pretty much heartbroken at the fact that he lost such a guy that could potentially be maybe the next Aiden Hutchinson for him on defense as pass rushes go. And this is huge too. And I'm gonna redress this again. Huge too of the loss for Jim Harbaugh, because it is now more of a power spread type of system in colleges. Very few teams that are good, or elites are adopting a full-blown pro-style offense where you have, the quarterback under center with the running back and possibly a fullback. Very few teams are like that, even though the Big Ten is a power team, known for big linemen and it's ground and pound. Even most of those teams have adopted a power spread as well. For example, Michigan, just to give an idea of what a power spread looks like, a true power spread primarily looks like. So the bottom line is that Collins decommits. Okay, for whatever reason, he decides to decommit. The Hurricanes never gave up. They're pushed. They're still pushing again for another guy like Brandon Inniss. And he, out of the blue, decides to come to the University of Miami, and sees, I guess, an opportunity to get on the football field as a freshman. So that's, I believe, a key reason why Collins decided to be part of a building process of talent acquisition and join the University of Miami. And again, a great find, right? As a freshman, 9 sacks, a top 10 athlete, could be utilized on offense and defense as well. He is going to be mostly, because of his length and size, he's going to be an edge rusher. All right. So Miami Hurricanes that's one thing they do not have a lack of. Miami Hurricanes do have a lot of pass rushers, and we're going to get into that as well when we talk about Reuben Bain. But again, with Najee Kelly, Cyrus Moss, as well, Jaden Wayne coming over, now Collins, Malik Bryant as a linebacker could be used, in blitzing, also as a pass rusher. So again, the Miami Hurricanes are stacking up talent. And to be honest with you, he's coming into a good situation because the one thing the Canes did not have a weakness in this past season was the defensive line. The front four of the Miami Hurricanes, for the most part, was the most consistent, very solid. throughout the year. Okay, so that's a little bit on Collins. All right, Acheampong. All right, so very congratulations to Mario Cristobal. Listen, I know it has to play out on the field. All right, I get it, I understand, but this is still good. It's kind of like when you draft a guy that is supposed to be solid and supposed to be whether a plug-in guy right away that can start right away, or he's considered the next big thing for your football team. This is good. So we'll see what happens next season as far as wins and losses and records go. But the bottom line is, as a Canes fan, after what you've been through, this whole season, this kind of acquisition still shows that the recruits still want to be here, still want to come here, and Mario still knows how to sell the university as a destination for success. All right. Now I want to talk about the elephant in the room, and that man is Reuben Bain. All right. A potential legacy Cane is Reuben Bain, the standout defensive lineman out of Central High. Now, early on, 247 had this guy, as pretty much a lock for the Miami Hurricanes. But as the season progressed, in particular, and him not being so vocal as far as where he's going to go and stuff like that, there is a lot of concern amongst the fan base and also the media of whether Reuben Bain is still as steady a potential Cane commit as has been stated. Now, why is that? Recently, I heard his father came out and said he'd not want to come be a part of a rebuilding process. All right. And Alabama has been nipping at his heels. All right. As far as wanting him to join the Crimson Tide as another member of its strong defensive line history, as far as talent goes. Reuben is a flat out freak, and I do not think that this will be a bust of a recruit. All right. If you look at the videos that I'm showing you and stuff like that, Reuben Bain is a monster at 6'3", 250 pounds. Reuben Bain could be an edge rusher, or he could be put inside the defensive line as well. Kind of like the way they've used Hakeem Mesidor this year. Mesidor, at many cases, will play the end position, but in other cases, he would play the interior lineman position, and he excelled in both. Reuben Bain could be that guy. As a matter of fact, I think Reuben could be better than Hakeem Mesidor as well. He is absolutely sick. A bull rush, so he's strong as well. He's fast, right? His swim technique is phenomenal. His footwork is sick. It reminds me of Jalen Phillips in terms of speed. He is a quarterback headhunter, all right, as well. And just to give you some stats, all right, for his career, 55 sacks at Central, and they play elite competition due to the Rockets, all right? But his senior year, okay, get ready to get your mind blown about Reuben Bain. Get ready to get your mind blown. His senior year, 26 sacks, all right? 26 sacks, 49 total tackles as a D-end and also defensive lineman. 29 of those were solo tackles as well. And let me give you the list of where he had multiple sack games, all right? IMG, considered the best team in the country by whomever you talk to. 3 sacks in that game. Central defeats IMG. 3 sacks against elite competition. Francis Mauigoa, a 5-star tackle, is at IMG, all right? Reuben Bain dominated that team. 4 sacks against Northwestern. Northwestern always has solid football, all right? 4 sacks and 4 sacks against Columbus. This is elite competition. Reuben Bain is not afraid of the spotlight, all right? Not afraid of the spotlight, okay? Now, is Alabama a team that could, if you speak to his father, all right, as far as what it sounds, Alabama is a good fit for him because Alabama's always going to be a top 5 team, all right? What Nick Saban has within that school is an absolute machine, okay? It's an unprecedented machine that produces potential national championships and also NFL talent as well, okay? But the one thing about I think could deter him from going to Alabama is the fact that they already have 20 defensive linemen, on their roster. And I personally think that's a lot of D linemen. And these guys are not like, projects, okay? They're already established 4 or 5-star guys. So I do think that Reuben Bain will have to wait his turn. If he goes in, it'll be during garbage time against maybe a lesser opponent or maybe an SEC team they just happen to dominate. If they're up by 20, it's the 4th quarter. He'll come in and get some reps in, to get his feet wet as far as collegiate football goes. But I really don't think that Reuben Bain will see much of the field, as far as if as far as his first couple years at least as a member of the Crimson Tide. Another team that's also in the mix, according to some of my sources, and they're quietly in the mix, is Florida State. Right, Florida State is also courting his services as well. Now, Florida State's a little different. The rebuild you could say that Mike Norvell has done is officially over. Right, Florida State is a 9-win team. They've beaten some elite competition. They beat LSU, who for most of the year was a top 5 team. They defeated their rival, the Florida Gators. They destroyed Miami, on the road. So Florida State does look like a team that Reuben could have eyes on as well, because the rebuild is done, and that's a team that they could possibly have him on the field, right away because of his elite talent, in particular. All right, so that's something that I think Canes fans and also the members of the media should look at, is the fact that Florida State is not too far behind, Alabama and Miami as far as courting the services of Reuben Bain. That he may show a lot of interest. All right, as far as that goes. Why a Cane? Well, again, the acquisition of stacked talent. Reuben Bain, with his size, his skill set, he won't start, okay, but he probably will see a lot of football this year as a freshman. He will definitely get his feet wet, because of the fact that he is a flat out stud. This is a guy. Listen, I love Jaden Wayne. I love this acquisition, but this guy is. I'm saying this right here. If it doesn't work out, you can rip me all you want, but I'm saying here on this podcast, all right, Reuben Bain is the real deal. Size, speed, and power. All right, this is a can't miss recruit. I don't know why the guy is not a 5-star. To be honest with you, he's the top defensive lineman in the state of Florida. Okay, I don't understand why he's not a 5-star. I really don't get those composites, but the bottom line is that he's a 4-star. I don't care. To me, he balls like a 5-star. All right. And he's going to give you 5-star style talent guaranteed. Put money on it. All right. At the University of Miami, if he decides to go with the Canes or wherever team he goes, if he sees the field, he is going to ball. Okay. Another reason why I think the ACC will be good for him as well is because the quarterback play, a lot of spread. He'll rack up sacks, all right, as well. So having him, Collins, or Jaden, or Najee or Cyrus, at the edges, or in the case of Reuben Bain, possibly sometimes, as an interior lineman, that could possibly not only stop the run but also sack the quarterback. Talent-wise, the sky's the limit, right? So that's one thing you can't say about Mario Cristobal. He cares, all right. He's a believer in recruiting, and he's an elite recruiter, and he knows how to talk to guys. Okay. Well, I hope you like what you heard. Okay. That is some good news. All right. Sprinkled in with some concern, but that is some good news. All right. If you like what you heard, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to 305 Sports Now. Once again, I am Will. Stay safe. God bless. See you soon.